Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. The 1990s will be remembered in America as a fast-paced, relatively positive decade where sitcoms and a rise in the tech industry dominated the American imagination. Now, for most of the decade, the country sat under the leadership of a young, popular Southerner who would become the first Democrat to be elected for 2 terms in office since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Now, this man's popularity was high throughout his time in office, and he did accomplish several impressive feats, but his legacy has since been overshadowed by an insidious scandal that actually led to his impeachment in his second term. This was the 42nd President of the United States, William J. Clinton. Bill Clinton, as he was known, was the first ever baby boomer president. He was born in the year 1946. Now, young Bill was actually born with the last name Blyth, the name of his biological father, who died tragically before he was born. In his adolescence, he took his adopted father's last name to become known as Bill Clinton. Now, as a young man and somewhat of a foretelling of his career later in life, teenage Clinton met President John F. Kennedy in the early 1960s. Now, this was prophetic in numerous ways, actually, not just a future president meeting the current president. Both men were young, both men were charismatic, and they were both popular Democrats when they were elected, and both also would have a legacy that would ultimately be somewhat tarnished by scandals related to marital infidelity. But before all of that, Clinton became a lawyer out of college, and he then entered the political sphere in his home state of Arkansas. Now, his rise to national prominence would actually come when he was elected governor of the state in 1978, several years after he married his wife Hillary. Clinton served 2 non-consecutive terms as the Arkansas governor, and this service was enough for him to jump to the top of the Democratic Party in 1992. And in that year's election, he won against the popular George Bush and would win again in 1996. Now, under Clinton, the nation experienced a relative period of peace at home and abroad, and that, combined with his on-air charisma and charm, made him a likable fellow to many Americans, even his opponents. Now, while he enacted several successful policies in the international stage and maintained relative prosperity at home, his suspect integrity proved to be his undoing when investigations revealed that he had an extramarital affair with a White House intern. Now, to make matters even worse for Clinton, his attempts at finding definitional technicalities caused him to actually lie openly to Congress, and this led to his impeachment in 1998. Now, though he was the first president to be impeached since Andrew Johnson did 130 years earlier, he actually avoided outright removal from office and was able to finish out his second term as a highly controversial figure. Now, in the 21st century, Clinton remained in the spotlight when his wife launched a presidential campaign of her own. Experts had pegged Hillary Clinton as a clear winner against business tycoon and TV star Donald Trump in 2016, but in one of the biggest upsets in American political history, she lost that presidential bid to Trump, keeping Bill Clinton from becoming the first gentleman in American history. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.